Oh, hello, ladies and germs, boys and girls. Good morning. Do you like stories? I'm reading my Bible. I've got a Bible story here. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. I'm reading a story from Matthew 15, the faith of the Canaanite woman. What's interesting is just before that, Jesus had met some Pharisees, teachers of the law. They'd come all the way from Jerusalem asking him some questions. And actually, they weren't nice questions. They weren't trying to find out more about Jesus to follow him. They're actually showing that they didn't like Jesus and they were rejecting him. And Jesus got angry with them because he said, "You're a bunch of hypocrites. You pretend to love God and actually you don't love him at all." And then he tells the crowd that that the Pharisees are a bunch of hypocrites. And then the disciples say, "Do you know the Pharisees are really upset when you said that?" Jesus said, "They're just blind guides. Leave them alone." And so then Jesus leaves the place and goes to the land of Tyre and Sidon, outside of Israel. This is remarkable because I don't think Jesus ever went outside of Israel anywhere else in the Gospels, just here. And, I don't think he was going there just to be by the seaside. I think he was going for some reason. God always has a reason. Let me just look at the text here. And oh, hello. Who are you? Oh, he says his name is Scruffy. I noticed, Scruffy, that you are looking pretty scruffy. Oh, I see. He normally sleeps on Phoebe's bed, he says. Why are you here? He heard there was a story and he likes stories. Okay, well, Scruffy, if you don't mind, I don't mind you being here, but just please, would you just sit over there and... he wants to be the centre of attention. Okay, look, Scruffy, would you just sit there? Stay. Okay. Impudent pup. And so Jesus was in this area, this foreign place, and a woman follows him and calls him Lord, Son of David. And she says, "Have mercy on me." Now, Son of David is a title that Jesus had, which proves that he's the king of the Jews. And the whole book of Matthew is really all about Jesus being the king of the Jews, and that he's bringing the kingdom of heaven in. And the Jews rejected him as king. That actually, these Pharisees who'd come asking questions knew that he was the king of the Jews. They knew he was the son of David. They'd seen the genealogy, his family tree, and yet they didn't believe him and they rejected him. And here's Jesus going into a foreign land, and here's a foreign woman calling him the Son of David. This woman seems to have had some insight about Jesus. Now, if I'd been Jesus, I think I would have said, "Well, at last, somebody who believes in me. Welcome, come and follow my group of disciples." But actually, he seems to give her a really hard time. Why does he give her a hard time? Why do you think, Scruffy? Because he didn't like her? I don't think so. The Jews certainly didn't like the Canaanites because you know what they called the Canaanites? Smelly? Well, they probably did, but they actually called them dogs. They called yes, I know you're upset about that. They call them dogs. And these Canaanite people, they're pagans, and the Jews and the Canaanites didn't really get on. And this woman's following him round as if he's her king, and he doesn't answer because, well, in a sense, technically he's not her king. He's the king of the Jews. I know he's king of everybody. He's Lord of everyone. But at first he doesn't answer. And the disciples even say, "Get rid of her. Send her away." And Jesus could have said, "Okay, send her away," but he doesn't. He then says, "I was sent to the lost sheep of Israel," which was actually, that's his mission. On his first trip into the world, Jesus' mission was to reach out to the Jews, but through them to then reach out to all of us, the Gentiles. Now, this woman isn't put off. She keeps calling out to him, and she wants help for her daughter. And that's a really good motive. So many mums and dads love their kids and will do anything for them. And so this woman is really pursuing Jesus, even though he's giving her a hard time. And then Jesus says something which is rather, it would appear rather rude to us. He says, "It's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." Sorry. Scruffy says, yes, it is right to give the children's bread to the dogs. And no, it is not right to give the children's bread to the dogs. Do you know why? No, I didn't think you would. It's because the bread belongs to the children and they need it to grow. But puppies need to grow too. Well, yes, they do, Scruffy. But, well, actually, you know what? That's the point. Because Jesus said that, and then the woman says, but yes, Lord. See, she recognizes him as Lord. She says, even the dogs, even the puppies, have to eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Yes, Scruffy's pleased about that. And Jesus says, woman, you've great faith. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed at that very hour. You know, Scruffy, you're right. You've proved a point. It pays to be persistent. And I think the key to this story is that the Jews who came to Jesus were not persistent. They didn't believe in him. And yet this woman, who had no reason to believe in him, except that she was desperate, believes in him and even persists. And you know, sometimes you need to test people to see how genuine their faith is, to see that they're not really hypocrites. And this woman had really genuine faith. Don't you think, Scruffy? Yes. And no, Scruffy, yes. Aha, that's a good question. Is your faith genuine? Or are you a hypocrite? Do you really believe Jesus? Or do you just pretend that you believe Jesus? That's a good question, isn't it, Scruffy? Yeah. I think we'd better carry on with our Bible study. Anyway, bye-bye, boys and girls. Bye-bye, ladies and germs. God bless you.